this is going to sound maybe crazy to some people, but I don't identify as the old version of myself.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't identify as an alcoholic. I am an alcoholic. I can't drink. Well, I mean, I could if I wanted to. My life will not be the same. But I think for a lot of times I identified as this past version of myself. And my new life, I killed the old version of myself.
Welcome back to the Hopeaholics podcast. I'm your girl, Natalie Eva Marie.
And I'm Chad Carlson, and you're listening to the #1 addiction and mental health podcast.
And you guys, if you or a loved one is struggling, make sure you head to askevamarie.com or chaddick.com and chat with one of our AI companions 24/7.
Or text the number right here on the screen.
Together, we are breaking the stigma around addiction and mental health.
And fighting the fentanyl epidemic.
Now, let's get into the episode.
He is a cute guy, though. Don't you think, Natalie?
Yes.
Yeah. Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome, Dave, to the Hopeaholics
Great
podcast.
to be here. Great to be here.
I don't know how
Put it out there. Just put it out there, like, right now.
Like which part?
That you have.
I was going to.
Okay.
I was about to, because I was like, I don't know how you got here, but somehow you really like were in my feed, and it was because I go through and just start liking shit that that relates to how I feel at that very moment. So my algorithm changes, and I wanna play the video before we get started, because this video is the one that hooked me, and I became your biggest super fan. Right? That's what Natalie said. She said you're like a super fan. So I guess I'm a super fan.
Good.
Makes me feel good. I'm not gonna lie.
So here it is.
That means whatever you're
I know.
doing.
I messaged Chad and I was like, "What's up, bro?" And he's like, and then I saw you.
Wait. Damn it. We got
But you know what? But how many?
Really
hold on. Before we play it, he posts a lot of these types of videos or reels or pieces that people, put out there that they're good. I will say that when I watched your story when it was his, I responded to it.
Yeah, you did.
Because I liked it too.
Yeah, you did. Yeah. This specific one really hits her and I with shit that we're going through right now. And that's what's cool about social media, right? And that's what's actually cool about your stuff, is because your stuff hits people. But let me see if I can get this close enough to the mic.
Can we
to
play
where
it?
to where we
Don't owe them shit. Know your worth.
Oh.
You
Damn
did.
it.
I'm going to say this 2 times.
2 times.
When someone
2 times.
disrespects you, you don't owe them shit.
Not shit.
When they disrespect you,
You don't owe them shit.
And that's for anybody I've ever cut off. That's why, motherfucker.
Mic drop, bitch.
Look.
And the song for so good.
But the song was dope. So like when I posted it the first time, I just put, and I was literally aiming it at somebody, and I said, I don't owe you shit.
I'm gonna post it today.
You should post it.
I'm going to.
You know, it's funny. Sometimes I'll post videos and I'll have like an old, let's just call them a hater, but like kind of as a support, the secret haters.
Sure.
And they'll like it. They'll be like, bro, this is fire. And I'm like, just so you know, I didn't direct that at you, but I have a feeling you might think I did. And if you did, fuck you, man.
So anyways, that was the one, man. And then after that, I was like, I love this dude. And then we connected, and I was like, you got to come on the podcast.
I'm stoked to be here.
And what's fucking cool about it is, one of our old guests, Kaylor.
Yeah. And it also, one of my really good friends, Anthony Zaretto, is coming on. He said,
oh, yeah.
Oh my
next
God.
week.
He's one of my good buddies.
Awesome.
Small world.
Yeah.
It is.
He was
it
like,
is.
I'm going on this pod. Are you going to be around? Because, when a Canadian comes to California,
Sure.
it's like, yo, bro, I'm
Yeah.
in, where's far away? San Diego. Let's go for lunch. I'm like, that's not quite by me, but that's cool.
Right.
Yeah, he was like, I'm going on this podcast. And I was like, which? And I instantly, because he's into sobriety, I was like, I have a feeling I know what one. So, small world.
It
Yeah.
is.
I feel like we're starting to get known. Like we're a podcast, a real one.
You guys are a real podcast. Because, there's a lot of podcasts.
Yeah.
There's a lot of podcasts
There's
out
a lot
there.
of podcasts.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I always like, yeah, there's a lot of podcasts out there. You guys are a real podcast, though.
And what's
Thank
cool,
you.
I will.
You have a studio, like getting to go to a studio. You feel very like
Right?
I'm not zooming.
Yeah.
You know?
Zoom is hard.
It's like a recorded FaceTime that I could just.
Totally.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I've watched some podcasts that are done well on Zoom and it works, but for the vast majority, I feel like you don't get that. It's not a vibe.
No.
And there's
No.
always
I
like a
actually had a
delay.
podcast when I first started my social media.
Oh, really?
I'll be
What
all in
happened?
effect. I was just like,
Good
the way,
name.
yeah, the way I looked at it was, I can just do this. Like, why would I move someone from the one platform? I'm already on my phone enough. That's a big thing. I'm
Yeah.
trying to like not be on my phone as
know.
much. It's the only thing I don't love about social media. Is that
Right?
it's like, you know, we'll get into that. But
Yeah.
yeah. It's like trying to be on this device, taken away from, you know, all the amazing things in my life, which, and, you know, the more I'm on it, the less I feel, you know, really.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah,
It's
so-
like fucked up.
Yeah.
Because it's like such a beautiful tool and a beautiful thing where it's same for myself. It's like helped me continue my, I don't know, brand, personality, and fan base, I guess you could say.
For sure.
But at the same time,
Yeah. It's like it's
it's tough.
we just went to Hawaii and it was crazy, like on our honeymoon. And one of my friends has a farm out there, and it's like totally disconnected, kind of like talking about like wanting to move from West
Sure.
Hollywood. But it was like crazy after 5 days, like all my creativity was back just because I didn't realize how much, you know,
It like sucks you.
yeah, it does.
Is that what's going on with me, Emily?
Me too,
'Cause
probably.
I've been like not doing content for like almost 3 weeks now, and like I was in the zone doing content, and I think I've been scrolling too
Yeah.
much.
I think
You
the same
can't
with me.
consume and create. Everybody, I help people grow their social media brands,
Yeah.
and it's like it. No matter who you are, doesn't matter if you're the most confident person in the fucking world. Like I was talking to my buddy before I came here. I was like, man, I'm just having a hard time just like being like happy for the life I've created.
Right.
And but I already know what it is, because like I think it was from like my past, having to like, if I don't keep hustling, it's all gonna fall apart. That was like one side of it. But like looking on my phone, I just know I'm on my phone, and it's like I can have the best life ever, but no matter what I'm doing, it's never enough, because there's just something you're not doing on your cell phone. You know, and it kills that creativity. It's just there's no like the phone. It's designed to do that, right? It's designed as a consumer app, so it's like it's a big thing I'm working on. Is just, and for the relationships, like I'll be sitting there and at night I'm like, oh, why is the romance not? You know, there's a
Sure.
week where like, you know, shit's just a little stale.
Sure.
And it's because, well, we're sitting there on our phones
Next to each
and
other.
I'm hearing tick, and it's like literally I'll be like, boom, in 30 minutes they'll go by.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'll be like, babe, phone down. Like phone's away. And it's crazy that is like, you actually have to set like a line, because it's hard, because it's just there.
It's just there.
It's just there.
And think about
As an
that.
addict.
We're adults.
Right.
Yeah.
We're adults doing that. I have a 17-year-old, and she's just fucking scrolling,
Scary.
laying in bed just sideways.
Right.
It's probably Emily too. Just,
Oh yeah, Emily for sure.
you have gotten better. I have
Okay,
some friends
okay,
that
4
have
a.m.
been like well, actually one of our consultants, she deletes her app like every 2 weeks because she gets fucking, you know, and I don't even think she's as bad. For me, the most part, it irritates me in the morning, because like the morning is my time for recovery, for God, for you know, for myself, to get myself aligned, because I don't leave the house until I am aligned. Like I don't leave the house, and then when I leave the house, I'm leaving the house to go to the gym to get my fucking energy out, my insanity out, so I could be a stable human being.
Yeah.
But I got to do the God stuff first, because if I don't, then I forget. And sometimes in the morning, I've been catching myself just like scrolling. Then I'm like, dang, I got to leave for the gym in like 10 minutes. So I actually end up late to the gym, which is, I mean, I guess that's fine, because I'd rather, if I'm going to lose something, it's going to be the gym, not God. So yeah.
But
It is
yeah,
a crazy battle, though.
It
It's
is
like,
a crazy battle, and we're all adult, like grown.
I'm a 51-year-old man. Like, what the fuck?
Totally. And like then you bring it down to 15, 16, 17-year-olds. Nah.
no, and it is, because there is, I always tell people like, and you know, people that are afraid to like, dude, how do you post on social media? I'm like, well, it's just what I'm creating. I don't really give a shit. But the longer I stay in my phone, I have to recheck myself, because most of the stuff you see on this thing is not real.
Right.
Comparing yourself to all these other people's lives that are like, yeah,
that are fake.
Yeah, like you have people like
you ain't really on a private jet right now.
No.
You're at that hangar in fucking Long Beach.
Yes, it's like, bro, you have camera crews following you around, and you have all these fake followers. Like you're creating your own little movie.
Yeah.
And like there's times where lately, to be honest, a lot lately, I'm like, I'm actually going to Nicaragua in 2 weeks, just to host my first retreat, and it's for entrepreneurs.
Nice.
It's really sobriety, personal development focused, but it's like a hard reset. So
Nice.
We're doing our first one in 2 weeks. For the whole thing, like when I went to Hawaii, I'm like, man, I need this, as an entrepreneur. Like when I came back, I felt like, I don't know about my not even myself again, but just like back to like that creative, that I had that detachment, and I was like, wow,
Yeah.
that's how much this is sucking me in. And if I have to, if I have to create a business that requires me to do that, it's not even worth the price of admission, really, I guess I was just down a rabbit hole for about a month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question before we dive back into your earlier life. I want to know what got you into social media. What started that for you?
It's a great question. So I owned a couple gyms, and I was big into. It was weird. It was like lessons I learned the hard way. I just started like, man, before I would teach my class, I got into like personal development, you call it, But it was funny because I was teeter-tottering on sobriety. Like from the outside, I had everything together, but I was still going on a bender like every 2 months. I was never an everyday drinker. But when I saw it, but I knew this, like I knew the way I needed to get sober because I'd gone to rehab when I was younger. This is a bit of a vague answer, but how I got into it, I was just like, man, there's so much more than just fitness. And just because I was like lived in Thailand, I'm a jiu-jitsu black belt, and I'd have people ask me like, oh, that must have been like the hardest thing ever. I'm like, well, not really. Like loving myself is way harder. Like the working out stuff was always easy for me. And then, so I became engulfed in the gym. Like it was my savior per se, but it never really fully saved me.
Right.
It was, I always, I even say, I'm addicted to other things, healthy things now, but I used fitness as an outlet for so long, and I remember my ex-wife's dad, his name was Don Moss. He was a big entrepreneur, really into like audio. He's who got me into podcasts.
Oh, wow.
But he would always tell me, Dave, you got to work on your mental biceps. And I was like, oh yeah, whatever, man. Like I'm fucking jacked and have a six. I'm like, but it was like almost a mask to a certain extent.
Yeah.
And then when I really like, I think when I got divorced there, I was like, man, I started listening to these audiobooks, and I was like, this shit is like, this guy was right, the mental biceps. But anyway, I still couldn't get out of my own way, but I started posting on social media kind of at this time, just like stuff I would hear from these audiobooks. And during my classes, like I'd have a microphone, kind of like a Barry's. I'm trying to think what it'd be like in America.
Sure. Yeah.
Similar. And same with the jiu-jitsu gym. Like what I noticed in the martial arts industry was like, and the kickboxing was like, they teach you how to work out, but no one really trains you for like the real hard stuff, like the thoughts in here and, getting over your past traumas and loving yourself. So I started talking about that in the class. Like I would go around I'd be like, what's up guys? Happy Monday. I'd be all fired up on like 400 milligrams of caffeine. And all right, we're going to go around the room. I want to hear one thing you're proud of this week. And I started doing that. And I was like, it started changing my life.
Sure.
And that's kind of how I started posting on social media. And then I kind of was like, man, I want to do this for like a career. Like not like the gym. I guess the gym kind of reached its, I don't want to say reached its peak. And like, when you start checking all the boxes, I had like our gym was at capacity. It was like, I was from a smaller town, but I was like, okay, I can either open 3 more of these or go do like this for a living.
Yeah.
Speaking, helping people outside of the gym too.
Yeah.
So then I started posting on social media, and during the beginning, you know how it is. People laughed at me, especially people that were friends.
Sure.
That was the most ironic part, and it's weird. I look at it now, and like I always say, you need a backpack of the shit people said about you.
Yeah, of course.
At the start, because I find negative, like not shame, but negative motivation sometimes when you're starting out can be so strong on the days you want to quit and you want to fall, which are more often than not, they're not.
Yeah.
So
A little.
I
chip on your
remember
shoulder.
all the things people said when I first started, and I was like, people that like I'd given beds to, like literally at my other gym, and housed them, and I was like, okay, so now I want to really start leveling up my life, and now I'm like, me going out for nice dinners is
Yeah.
like a problem to you. I'm like,
Right.
and I just remember this one guy, I'll never forget it. It was like this one stage 3 years ago. I was about to sell my gym. My mom got cancer, and that's when I got sober. I was just woke up one New Year's in Whistler snowboarding. I was like, I'm done drinking. Of course, Ashley was like, I've heard this a million times. I'm amazed she actually stuck around. But anyway, there was this one guy, and Luke, like, from the outside, no business. And this is why I always say a hater can teach you just as much as anybody else can, actually more, because they're so focused on your flaws, which is a blessing. I remember this guy looked at me and he was like, oh, you think you're Mr. Popular, but you're just a drunken fucking loser. And I was like, part of me was like the audacity of this tool telling me this.
Yeah.
Like, this guy's got no business calling me a loser, but I'm like, he's not wrong. Like inside I am like, I always say, what that feeling in here when you're like younger, that you're made for more.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I always knew, and I'm like, I'll just never remember to forget this one. And I'm like, inside, I'm like, I'm going to fucking show you who's the drunken loser. And for the first like month of my sobriety, I just remember thinking about that. And I tried to get sober a bunch more times. Like, God, this should have happened 15 years ago. But that was like one that really, really stuck. And I was like, and I always look at it as the biggest blessing, is like because everyone thinks that like, haters, most people don't even have haters because they've never actually, they're like, oh, I don't want to do this because people hating on me. Bro, you got to do something first to get the haters.
Mm-hmm.
But then when you get that, it's a sign of like, you're actually doing the right thing. And I always say, you leave people behind, but they all had a chance to go with you.
You're doing what they're too scared to
Yes.
do.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one thing that, like, if I look back on my life from when I got sober and how it ended up here, I don't know, 25 years later, it's fucking incredible to me. But the one thing that I did is I did what I wanted to do, even though I was scared to do it,
Mm-hmm.
in business and life and everything. And I didn't care. And then my last relapse, because I relapsed even as an owner of a treatment center, I relapsed, and the judgment that you get in this industry from people that have the same, like I'm like the real deal. Like I'm the stage 4 alcoholic, even though my drug of choice is not alcohol. I'm that stage 4 guy that talks about you in the Alcoholics Anonymous book. I'm that guy. And then I'm coming back and people are like, you shouldn't be helping people anymore. And I was like, okay, well, fuck you, and I'm gonna put the cotton in my ears, and I'm just gonna fucking go, and I'm not gonna listen to you. And I put my head down, and I'm so thankful that I did, because this is what's happened for me, and this isn't something I never wanted this podcast. I never wanted social media, because when I fell in the limelight, not in like her limelight, but in the limelight of my industry. Everybody in this industry knows who Chad Carlson or the Carlson family is. Everybody knows who Hope by the Sea is. And when I fell hard, like, arrests, high-speed chase, everything. And this is a nationwide business that I'm in. So everybody in this industry, from California to New York to Florida, knew about my relapse.
Yeah.
But like you said, those people hating on me and saying I shouldn't be doing this anymore fueled me. It's like, and not everybody has that inside of them. That's a Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan. I can't say LeBron James, because I've seen him flubber under the pressure. But these guys excelled. Tom Brady. How many people talk shit on Tom Brady? I did, because I couldn't stand his pretty ass smile and the fact that he beat my Raiders in 2002 or whatever it was. But like, I love that. I love that about you, and it fueled you to get sober.
Yep.
How long have you been sober?
Coming up on 3 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
But you mentioned that You went to rehab as a kid?
Yeah, when I was 20, court ordered. It was jail and then rehab.
In Canada?
Yeah, in Canada.
Are we
Yeah.
are we saying that?
In
Or-
the almighty, yeah, when I was 20. And I should have got sober, a long time ago.
Yeah.
And yeah, I went to rehab when I was 20. I did like a year of sobriety, but it was always for other reasons. It was to prove to other people. I always try to think back, because I want to start talking about sobriety more, because it's like so I'll get into it. I didn't go to AA this time. And my take is like, whatever helps get you, everyone's different. I tried the AA thing, and I know it's like you said, it's very like, whoa, it's whatever it is, it's one way or the other. But I've learned, like, when I first got sober, I did it for everybody else. I was trying to prove that I was okay. I got into like the gym really heavily, got married, had a good job, like white picket fence. I worked in the oil field in Canada.
Oh, wow.
But, and it was always getting sober for somebody else, because I think I was so afraid of being alone. That was the first one. It was like, I just wanted to be liked, I think that was a big one. And now it's like, admitting that, I always say admitting your flaws is the keys to your freedom.
Oh, for sure.
That was a big one so I kept trying, but it was always for the wrong reasons, right? It wasn't until I woke up and I was just like, and again, it wasn't the crazy, like it was either I was doing blow on an all night bender, or if I didn't have it, I would just black out and get so ridiculously drunk. So the last time I drank, we were in Whistler snowboarding. For everybody else, it was fun. I didn't remember going to bed, but like woke up, my girlfriend at the time was like, who is my wife now, was like, yeah, it was fun. And I just kind of remember waking up and I was like, man, what if I really went all in on myself? What could be my, because I was already like living a pretty good from the outside life, miserable inside, still like running away from all my, and I think I ran away, getting into that, like I ran away from being disliked. I wanted to run towards being liked so much. That was my fear. And then I was like, I'm going to having these like haters per se. And like that, I always use the saying, when a hero stumbles, cowards rejoice. It's like people are dying for you just to fall. And when I realized that, I was like, man, I've been spending my entire life running away from who I really am to be liked, and when I had the most friends, I was hands down the worst version of myself. I remember it's just waking up and I was like, fuck it. All right. I'm like, I've tried this for so long. It's not working. It's not bringing me the self-love that I'm looking for. So I'm just going to be me, unapologetically me. And, at the beginning they laugh. They always laugh at whatever
always.
They laugh, they judge, but eventually when you keep showing up and you keep doing the work, they ain't fucking laughing no more. The only person laughing is the one doing the work. And
first they mock, then they hate.
And then
hate is a mild form of admiration. Hate, I always say it. Hate, because every time I remember before I got sober, I would, like when I worked in the oil field, I was the guy hating. And I'm like, as social media, I'd be like, fuck that guy.
Yeah,
and it was only because I was sitting in an oil field camp room in a miserable relationship that I chose to be in.
Yeah.
And it wasn't because of her, it was just me. And I was like, I was that guy. But it was because like the triggers I had were my truth. And that's why I always say, like, if you're hating on something, and I always tell people, like, if you're hating on somebody, most of the time you're hating on, ask them what they're doing. Cause that's all, you want to somewhat be like them in some way, shape or form. And most of the time, I'm just going to say, people like us, I want to help everybody. Like, hey bro, door's open if you want to know what I'm doing. Because I can tell you, what people always are like, oh, you just don't get it, man. I'm like, oh, fuck, buddy. You want to hear it? Like,
you want to bet we get it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Do we have enough time to talk about
you
that?
Want to bet?
Yeah.
But it's like the and I do the 12-step program, and I love it. But I 110% agree with you. We created a Recover Out Loud movement meeting that people come to, and it doesn't matter how you get sober. Let's just do this deal together, man, and let's help one another. But the one thing that you can tell people like that are like, I don't get, it's like, look, man, if you want to know how I got to where I am, it's a simple statement of, if you want what I have, you'll do what I do. Like, I get up at early in the morning. I'm not gonna be like, what's her name, and be like, I get up at 2 a.m. And then she got hated on for whatever. But like, I get up early. I'm disciplined.
Yep.
I give my life over to God every single morning, and then I go to the gym.
Well, it works.
And it works. The shit works.
Because people, they're always like, my biggest thing, especially with social media, I got a lot of people like, it was something I used to do. I used to always think I'd more. Like the more I add to my plate, the like somehow, and then you realize it's a subtraction game, getting rid of toxic situations, starting with me, removing the friends groups, removing, all the things that are leading us down these paths. And people are always like, man, I'm like, hey man, give me a little insight on your life. Cause you're telling me you're miserable. You can't like, and they just lay it out. And it's like, well, I'm going here on the weekends. I'm hanging out. I'm like, tell me about your friends. Oh, they're all fucking gossiping. And I'm like, so just let me tell you, bro, if I lived your life for a week, I would be more miserable than you. So it's not you, it's your fucking life choices. And it's a lot of times it's easier, not easier because but it's more simple than we realize.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I think we blow things up and make a lot of decisions way more catastrophic in our brains
100%.
than actually, and like the hardest part though is taking forth the action to make the change. And it's a lot easier to stay in your shit.
Oh yeah.
And complain. And especially if you think that you have a right to complain, like if you're still
playing the victim.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Like playing the victim.
How'd that work out?
It doesn't.
No, I was thinking about myself.
Right.
Yeah,
and using it as an excuse or something. And there's going to be certain situations. I always use her as an example. Joyce Meyer, I love her so much, but like her childhood sucked. She was like sexually abused by her father until she was like 18 years old. That's insane. That's like a really fucked up thing to like work through and navigate. But she is so great because she's like, at some point in your adult life, when you are able to, not as a child, obviously, because some bad things happen.
Yes.
But then you have an active choice.
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to do with it? Are you going to be a victim, or are you going to work through it and get over it and like move forward and then be able to actually like help other people that might have gone through something similar? It's like, I know a lot of individuals that continue to use stuff that happened when they were like 16 and they're like 45. It's like, that ain't it. That's not life.
No. And it's like, you're going to wake up one day.
Yes.
You're going to wake up, this, you wake up at 65 years old blaming the world.
Yep.
For just teenaging. Because like you said, at a certain point you are a victim when you're
for sure
14. But once you have that choice, like, and the only thing that happens is you wake up and you blame everybody else. But I'm like, you had the choice to live your entire life that way. And then you end up wasting the whole fucking thing away.
This episode is brought to you by Wolfpack Bags. This gear is meant for anybody, gym, lifestyle, to anybody that's on the move. I mean, I like to say that us here and everybody that tunes in, we're not average. We're always a wolf. They have all the goods that you need, especially for anybody that is looking for a bag to carry their meal prep, a lunch pail, anything like that. They have you covered. So once again, go to wolfpack.com, use the code Hopeaholics, save 10%, and join the pack. Wasting it away, and then you're absolutely miserable to be around.
Yeah.
Because you're not a joy to be amongst other people. And it's like, that's like
real loneliness.
That
they say
is.
It's lonely on the top because your friends start, like people start to disappear in your life. But like, if it's not true in my case, and I think because like, I'm not lonely because like I do actually have a God in my life. Mm-hmm. I have somebody that like cares about me. I have, my family comes first. And I have an amazing team of really five people around me, and ask that question, like, who are your 5 people? If your 5 people are sitting there complaining with you or listening to you complain, I mean, you can listen. She can complain, but for how long? And then I'm going to tell her the truth.
Yeah.
And that's the truth. Like, sometimes she wants, and it's vice versa. But sometimes she wants to go do some shit that I'm like, well, how's that actually going to help the situation? I'm just speaking about the other day. The other day, she's like, I'm going to go down and and I was like, but why?
Yeah.
Why are you gonna do that? Do you want to end up on motherfucking TMZ? Is that is that what you want to do?
Maybe in the moment we do. Yeah.
We are emotional creatures.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, all publicity is good.
That's right.
However you say it,
Yeah.
right, Emily? Emily would have been like egging her on.
Emily would be videoing it, sending it in to TMZ. But I think there's like different levels of complaining, right? Because we have like life has trials and tribulations and shit sucks and things go that you work through and you go through. And like going kind of off of what Chad's saying is like, I'm comfortable enough with my family here that I'm able to project these nonsense ideas that I have, whether it's complaining or whatever, but at the end of the day, they're not going to let me wallow in it. And then it's like, this happened like probably 10 years ago, because at the very beginning of my career, there's a lot of rejection, or actually probably longer than that. So it's like a constant like mind fuck already, especially you don't really like yourself. And then
not good enough.
It's not good enough. So it actually amplifies how bad you feel about yourself. And then depending on like what jobs you don't get or whatever, it was really affecting my like sanity times a million.
I believe
and then finally I had like an epiphany, and depending on what it is, I have like a 48 hour rule where like I can be in my feels and be all bummed out about something, and usually it's a job or I like lost money of some sort. That's usually kind of what it was. And then after that, get on. Like nothing's gonna come about you walking around being like miserable and sad, because whoever you're miserable and sad about, let's say it's the job, they've booked somebody else.
Oh yeah,
they're working. They're killing it.
Yeah, the only person that suffers is you.
So it's like that's not gonna work.
And that's like one of the best rules ever. You can give yourself you can be in your feelings 24 hours, 48 max. You know, like and it's like after 48 hours,
you're
like
now you're the problem.
You're the problem. Like I try to keep it just one day.
Yeah.
You know, I can wake up in my feelings and I can have one full bad day and just, be a little bitch.
Yeah.
I can do that, and I'll allow myself to do that. But it's like that guy knows that when I wake up the next morning, we ain't doing that again.
It's like it's a bad moment, not a bad life.
Right. But that's also takes our own trials and tribulations of falling down and figuring it out ourselves and having like the self-awareness to be able to do that internal work. And a lot of people, I really do feel, lack self-awareness these days.
They don't have people. I love what he said about like how you guys have your like, they don't have people to tell them the truth.
Yeah. Like shut the fuck
love doesn't
up.
lie. That's what I always tell people. If I have a friend come to me and be like, hey man, like I have my buddy Johnny, he's off the grid, off social media, but he's one of my best friends.
Yeah.
And he's always like, he'll call me on my bullshit. So almost like abrasive. And I'm like, motherfucker, you're right, bro. Like, and those are most people have nobody. They're just co-signers.
Yep.
They're like,
everybody just co-signing,
and it's like a victim.
Like,
it's
a
the race
victim,
to the bottom.
a victim helping a victim, man. Like, and if you can be in victim mode for a day around me.
Yeah.
But if you start bringing me down, I'm like, nah.
Yep.
I'm not, because
we want solutions.
I want solution. What is it? What's the solution to this problem? I'm solution. And here's as a friend, I can see what the solution is to your problem, but like I don't want to tell you. I don't always want to tell. I want you to feel it. I want you to figure it out, because like maybe my way might not be the exact right best. I can tell you how I would do it, but like I'm not. I just won't allow that in my,
because you'll eventually.
I don't want that anymore. I've been that.
And that's the thing, is like it's a energy suck.
Yep.
It's like if you're constantly around people, and I know that we all know them, that just something is always wrong, or something is catastrophic
every time.
You know the sad part about those people
at a meeting.
Oh yeah, they're like, you know the crazy part is about these people. You look at them. I have one person. And it's like good for like someone who I really cared about.
Sure.
And I'm like, yo, bro, this boat's leaving, dude. There's no anchors in this boat. Everybody's got to be rowing. And I look at them and I'm like, fuck, man. The worst part is they don't just stay the same. They get worse. That's the scariest part. I'm like, man, like you said, it's the same thing. And years later, you look at them, I'm like, man, I feel bad for you, even though, it's your choice, but it's like they never, ever get out of that, that habit.
I mean, I have a friend that I had to completely cut out of my life completely, and like the truth is like, I mean, I don't wish any ill intent on him, but it's like, it's not the first time that, he's never changed since I've known him, and it's like, I thought he had, but it's like, bro, when are you going to figure out that if you just stop being so self-serving and being selfless,
yes,
your life will get better. And sometimes it's like, you know what, they got to put down the drink, the drug, and the I'm just gonna say it because I can't help myself. And the Xanny bars. I mean, you just gotta put it down.
Yeah.
Put
the
that
ego.
Yeah.
Put that shit.
It's like
down.
this weird ego of like, I know better, and it's like, do you, man? Because judging by the look of your life, you're 30 pounds over your weight. Your job sucks. You got no relationship, and you're like, man, I wish I would have a life like you, Chad. It's like. Wishing has nothing to do with this life, motherfucker. Wishing's for Santa Claus. I worked for this. Totally. And so can you. They think they're like.
That's the other part too. It goes right back to if you want what I have. If you want what I have, you will do what I do.
Yep.
Like, follow me around for 24 hours. That's all you have to.
You know what the crazy thing is? They probably think, this is a crazy part too, that you're like superhuman. They're like, bro, like, you're like. You ever think about that? They think like being all in means I'm up at 2 every day and I never don't wake up at 2 and I don't have a bad 24 hours. I'm like, bro, some weeks I feel shitty for 5 out of 7 days, but I do the bare minimum. Some days that's required, like getting up, your morning routine, your relationship with God. And it's like, they don't understand that like just having one off day doesn't mean your whole progress is erased. Doesn't mean you're not all in, just means if you got 60%, you give 60%. They think it's like some sort of cheat code.
You got to be 120 every single day. No, because sometimes my 120 is 60.
Yeah.
But I will say you need to be able to handle stress. And what that means is however it is for you. For me, that means that sometimes my stress levels are up to here and the weight is so heavy that I have to drop to my knees. And I have to ask for help, and whatever that looks like for the individual, you don't have to do it my way. But like, there are times, and she's witnessed it over the last 2.5 years that we've been doing this and doing business together. Like, this business that we're in is not always easy. And the load that I carry sometimes is like, I've asked God, I'm like, are you sure you got the right guy for this job right here? Because I'm about to crack.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah. And I've said that to like some of my other partners and friends, and they say, yeah, see, the thing is that God knows that when you're about to crack, you're going to rely completely on him. And that's what he wants. That's what he wants for me and for my life. And, it's been, and it's not about the what I have now or what I'm searching for. I got to sometimes just remember to sit back in the fucking chair on that bus, look out the window and enjoy the fucking view.
Amen.
It's not about I don't even know what the destination is.
No.
We're in a hurry.
But I'm in a hurry to get
me too.
there.
That's actually been something I've been struggling with the last month.
What is the destination?
Yeah.
Death is the It's the final destination.
I think we like build these, big, which is not the thing that.
If I get this, I'll feel this.
Right, but we
I've
all know
done that.
Yeah.
I've done that. I've had all of that, and I felt empty, alone, afraid. And then you know what I did? I stuck a needle back in my arm, and that's
because it's never really enough.
It's not
the goalpost.
Right, you always move it. But the thing that also is tough with that one is that it is a good driving force to have.
Purpose is required to
completely.
It's
so
this
that's why
crazy,
it's a mind
like
fuck of like having a significant balance, knowing. And I think the difference is like I think each one of us at some certain point of time had chased, achieved, and felt miserable and continued to drink or use or whatever, right? So it wasn't getting that thing, getting that partner, getting that job, getting that whatever it was.
If I only had a 6-pack of abs and $1 million in the bank.
If I only had that Lambo.
Yes.
If I only had that Lambo, but yeah, next thing you know, Chad's in a high speed chasing that motherfucker. You know, that
Exactly
happened.
So it's like
I think it goes back to like, I know it's just because it's something I've been working on, you know, like I love what you said, because I'm like, I just want to sit back and, you know, if I can't take 2 days to enjoy the view, what the fuck's the point climbing up the hill?
completely.
You know?
I mean, that's the ticket.
Yeah.
Everybody is searching in this world. They constantly say like happiness, right? But it's honestly peacefulness within oneself. That's the magic
the real
ticket. Like
wealth. Too.
Yes, exactly.
Peace of mind.
For sure, because we're stuck with ourselves.
Yeah.
So it's like we're with each other or ourselves 24/7. So if you are not peaceful, and that's what is hard, especially because a lot of our business is on social media, that we're in this like kind of rat race of a game.
Yeah.
Because we're trying to
competing
also
with who knows what.
And then trying to scale the business and do all these things, but ultimately and everyone's going to be different of what they need. But it is also one of those things where we've had enough conversations, and I think that it's out there with so many doctors and podcasts of people saying the same thing, is like, nobody has this shit figured out.
Fuck no.
You know, everybody is really trying to do the same thing, trying to figure it out, trying to be peaceful, or anybody that's successful that has any type of peacefulness from within that it showcases and portrays is working on the same thing on a daily basis.
Yeah.
And trying to make
it's like falling in love with the process. It's not what you get, it's the person you become. And you know, I say trying.
Have you said that one? Have you said that one on your?
I haven't.
Because that's one.
Take a note.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're getting content.
Note that.
Well,
we're going to use that one on our content.
You know, everyone just thinks like, you know, it's what you get. And I should have a buddy tell me this. And the irony is he's got a Lambo. But, you know, but it, you know, and everyone says success is different to everybody. But I remember it really isn't, because it's like that. Yeah. When you chase for so long, you start being like, what are you chasing? But it's about reminding yourself. It's not about what you get. It's about who you become and falling in love with that person, you know, falling in love with the process. Because like what you said, it's like, it's a fine line, because sure, you can align your chakras and put your feet in the grass and ground. But if you don't have any purpose, you're going to be fucking miserable. Yeah. Because, you know, you can manifest, but you also got to do the work. And it's like you said, I don't know. I want to meet someone who's figured it all out.
Right.
Who is that motherfucker?
Manifestation doesn't work out without action.
No.
Right.
It takes action.
You got to do
I have that
something.
written on my whiteboard, even though there's a lot of things I have not been taking action on the whiteboard, but it's that action cures everything.
Yeah.
It's true.
You know?
It is actually, that's a fact. I love that.
Because procrastination is the cause of anxiety, stress, low self-worth, imposter syndrome. Every time I know I'm like, even when it comes to responding to something, and I'm like, I'll do it later. Like, you know, and then I never do it. I start feeling
for sure
my worth. It's weird. It's like, because maybe that's something I got to work on, you know?
Sure.
But I feel like almost my worth drop a little, because I'm like, I'm lying to myself.
Yeah.
Because, you know, self-confidence is made by keeping the promises
to
yourself.
Yeah.
Esteemable acts.
Is this where I bring up my favorite procrastination quote?
Yes.
Huh?
I want to hear it.
You do? You've never heard it? Okay.
Because it's not really even valid.
It is valid. Procrastination is like masturbation. You only fuck yourself in the end.
If you're a guy, well, wait a second.
But I always say, isn't that like the point?
Huh?
Yeah. So it's not bad.
Procrastination is like masturbation, because in the end you regret it.
That's better.
That is good. You do cut that clip.
Yeah, that's way better.
Good one.
That is way
because
better.
Like you ever? Never mind. That's not. I can't ask you that question.
I want to get into
life.
Yeah, and like your wife currently, because you said that you went through a divorce, but your wife that you have now, she was with you pre-sobriety.
God bless her soul.
I know. Yeah. How did that even
Oh man, I like sometimes I look back now and I'm like, I'm just thankful she stayed around, and saw the good in me. Because she always used to use the saying. She said, 99% of the time, you're the most amazing guy ever. You're loving, you're caring. Because I don't know, my buddy always makes fun of me for saying it wrong. Empath. I don't know how the fuck you say it.
Empathy?
Yeah. I'm an empath or whatever your things are.
Okay.
But so she would always use this saying. And it's funny when I have ADD if you haven't.
Yeah.
So I'm like, go off topic a bit. But yeah, I remember when I was like, I always used to be like, when I would like relapse per se, I would brush it under the rug. And when I first met her, I wasn't fully divorced. It was a disaster. And I brought her through it. I was lying and it wasn't fair to my ex either, and I always look back and like that relationship, all relationships in my life could have gone better if I was better, because it's on me really. Every like, I never got over my old relationships until I stopped I pointed the finger inwards. It was, and I hear people do this a lot. They're always like, oh, she's doing this and like fucking, and it's like, man, bro, that's crazy. I've been listening for like half an hour and I haven't heard one thing you've been doing wrong. And that changed my whole perspective. Was everything's my fault, but it's also my solution. So yeah, I met her at my gym 9 years ago. They say, don't shit where you eat. I just picked the one. I broke the rule. I actually broke it a couple of times, but not proud of it.
Yeah.
But you know what? I say everything. I don't regret anything, because if I didn't do everything exactly the way I did it, I would never be sitting here with you guys today.
Right. Exactly.
Yep.
So it was the best thing I ever did,
Yeah.
even though I might have hurt some people at the time, including myself. And sorry to them. And, but yeah, I met her. She was with me at the beginning, and I think it was crazy because like I just couldn't admit the fact. It was the selfish part of me, was just like, brushing it under the rug, relapsing. I'm good all 99% of the time, but this, whatever. I went on a bender and disappeared for a day. And it was never like, I was never cheat. It was just like, I was so ashamed of myself every time I'd, go out and drink. And I was never setting out to go do drugs all night, but that was just how my friend group was.
Right.
And I was like the coach, and it was like, free everything. Yeah. So when I first met her, she was like, God, and she tells me now that she was like in a bad state. She's like, she was clearly like going through her own stuff, just hang around me because she should have left me.
Yeah.
Really, when I look back, and I'm just, and I don't know if I'm religious, but I believe in a higher power. Like, I'm just thankful that like she saw the good in me that I knew was there.
Yeah.
I'm so happy that I've found. And yeah, she hung around, and there was just so many times I look back now and like, I obviously regret, but when I say regret, it's like, sometimes I feel like regret is a great teacher, because yeah, if I wouldn't have figured it out, she would have left me. And it's the irony was all the time she gave me the ultimatum of like, if that's it, this is the last time you do this, I'm going to leave. And I'm like, oh fuck, I heard that my whole life, but I'm going to charm my way back in here. And when I got sober, there was never that ultimatum, because all those other times I was like, oh, I'll get sober. And it was just long enough for that trauma cycle for them to take me back. And they'd be like, oh, I got him back. It's
almost like abuse.
Yeah.
We like abuse. Yeah. I have that same charming thing, because when there's no drugs or alcohol in my system, I'm a great guy.
I believe it. I feel it. Yeah. No,
but you put that stuff in me and I am horrible. Yeah. I'm Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. And they hate Mr. Hyde, but they love Dr. Jekyll.
It's crazy.
And they'll stay even though I'm, emotionally abusive during that time. It's and that in and of itself is like the cycle of abuse.
Yeah.
I mean, and they're they're in it too.
Yeah.
They play a role.
Yep.
Their role is that they keep staying.
I know.
And so the abuse keeps happening. So if I know you're not gonna leave, I'm gonna do it again.
Yeah. Because it's tough. I mean, it almost makes me emotional, because it's like a lack of. They're clearly struggling from self-worth too. And
yeah.
It's like I know, it's crazy.
And for me, it makes me feel, because when I hurt them, I hurt me really bad.
Oh yeah.
Like I could hurt myself. I could abuse myself. I could fucking do terrible things to myself. I can blow my self-esteem out of the water. But as soon as I hurt that person that I love, whether it be her or my mom or my dad or my sister, my family, my kids, it's like, and then that cycle for me just, it gets worse because I'm stuck in the pain that I've caused other people. And I do have regrets. I know in like the Alcoholics Anonymous book and in the promises, it says we will not regret the past, but I do.
Mm-hmm.
And I regret it to the point where that feeling of shame that I have from it, it keeps me from doing it again.
Amen.
Well, that's why it follows it with nor shut the door. Like, we're not supposed
Not
to
shut the door on the past.
Mm-hmm.
We will not regret the past nor shut the door on it.
I agree with what you said, though.
But I do feel
Yeah.
regret. Like if I could do it differently, and I know that it would change the course of my life on that time, pendulum, and maybe we wouldn't be here right now. Something else would be happening, but that wasn't the plan.
Mm-hmm.
So I get it, but the regret keeps me from doing it again.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to hurt them anymore.
Which I think is good, and that's healthy.
Yeah.
Because at one point in time, how many times did we all fuck up and continue to do it, knowing and feeling the guilt and the shame and the regret?
Well, that's
that's
insanity. See, the real definition of insanity. It's doing it and knowing the result, because they say expecting something different.
Yeah.
I didn't expect something different.
No, if we went out right now and cracked a couple beers,
I know.
I can tell you exactly how that's going to go.
What's going to happen. I can tell you 110%. Maybe not today, but within the next however long it is, I will be. I will be.
One out of the next
I will
6
be
times we all hang out together and go drinking or whatever you want to call it.
I'll be
ain't
in
fun.
handcuffs.
Yeah.
I'll be in county jail.
Yep.
In that Orange County loop that I hate. I will have like
a nasty ass sandwich laying on that orange couch.
Smashed Donna, smashed Aurora, smashed Cooper, my mom and dad, everybody in this building.
Yeah.
Because at this time, everything goes away.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't have another one. There's not another one for me. All of this goes away. And Natalie would be sitting here on the podcast saying that
Crying.
that this is the last episode because everything's gonna fall apart now.
Isn't it crazy? Without one thing, you can have it.
How sad! The show must go on, Playboy.
Crazy. But goddamn, is that relatable? It's without one thing, you can have everything.
And then my face comes off the logo, and it just becomes
it's just the pink hair.
It just becomes the Nem Show. The podcast is no longer the Hopeaholics; it's the Nem Show.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean,
Emily
we'll watch the motherfucking Nem Show from the county jail. You play that shit, we'll be watching that shit every day.
But it's true.
I like what you said about it's crazy. It's like the fear kept me sober at the start. The fear of what would happen.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like you said, you don't have another one. I'm like, I don't ever want to know what another one's like.
Yeah.
Even though my last ones weren't the worst ones, fuck, it was like, yeah, when I remember, like, if I drink again, I don't even want to know what's going to happen. I've had people sell me out, slander me. My mom's fucking got cancer. I was so afraid of, like, that fear and, like, that thought of, like, waking up, zero self-worth.
Right.
That to this day, I'm like, I can't even imagine drinking alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds crazy because, like, before I always had reservations, like when I go to Nicaragua. I remember.
Sure.
We won't talk about what happened last time I went to Nicaragua, but
yeah,
it's a different trip for sure. And, it was like the thought of like, it's not what if I do this, it's what if I don't do this, and I use that for a lot of things in my life now.
What was it like growing up in your family, in your household?
Yeah. Do you have siblings?
Yeah. My sister lives here. That's one of the main reasons we moved.
Oh.
She actually works with Ash, crazy, at Cedars, Beverly Hills.
Wow.
So that was like the main reason. Crazy. Yeah. Not the greatest childhood. God bless my mom. My parents got divorced when I was 5. The whole thing we talked about, victim thing. I got my dad. I had this like thing happen. My dad met his wife now, who's my half brother's mom. I won't say anything bad about her because it's my brother's mom and it's not his, anyway, it was a rough upbringing, and I don't really hold any grudge because that's another thing we could talk about is forgiveness.
Sure.
That's a hell of a subject. And with the key to living
It's the key to everything. Actually.
Yeah. Because holding on to resentment is,
it's the killer.
Yeah.
It actually stops you from accomplishing everything that this world, this universe, spirituality has for you to accomplish.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was the hardest one for me to give up. And sorry to cut you off, but like I was molested when I was a kid, and the one thing I held on to for years was the anger. And if I ever saw the motherfucker, I was gonna stick a gun in his mouth
Mm-hmm.
and pull the trigger. And how do I forgive that?
Yeah.
And I did. I have.
Yeah, you have to.
It's gone. Even if I saw the guy now, I mean, I would be like, you know what, I forgive you.
Yeah. Doesn't mean you have to forget. That's what I always tell myself.
No.
But it's like it is, because like if you go through life holding on to resent, anger, and hoping the person fails, and you don't know what forgiveness is because it ain't about them. It's about you.
Yeah.
It's
See, he comes up with all these good fucking sayings just talking. Yeah, it's literally the same shit that's on his fucking. Sorry, I'm cussing so much today. On his, apparently I'm super fan, right?
You are super fan.
I'm super fans of you guys. I'm like, we got to go for lunch, double date night.
Yes.
Yeah. Ash would
I
love
was,
yeah,
I was
Ash
saying
is so
double
good.
date night. One.
Oh, you better get a
I
triple,
know.
quadruple date night because
He's married. I'm not.
You got to find a date.
Yeah, I know. I could go
Perfect.
solo.
My wife.
We'll roll freaking
Yeah.
who gives a shit, but
Right?
we just got to hang out. Yeah. Ash would love you guys.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Hey,
back
no, but
to
keep going.
it was
interrupt
rough.
Yeah. Just, but it's crazy. I look back now and I'm just like, it was rough. There's no doubt about it. I was a really good athlete, yeah, my stepmom, she married my dad. My dad it's a long story, had like 180 acres on this little island, very successful. Stingiest guy I've ever met in my life, but just not a great dad to me and my sister. But, anyway, I got kicked out of my house when I was 13 long story by this woman. I held so much resentment. Didn't know at the time. Now I look back, I was just a kid that was going through a lot of pain. Drinking at 13, crashed one car at 16, got 3 DUIs. But I look back at my dad now and it was the best gift ever was he taught me everything not to be, and I don't hold any resentment towards him. It was just the cards I was dealt, I had a great mom. A lot of people have there's always someone with a worse story out there that's done amazing things with their life. So for a while though, I was really in the victim mode. I fucking turned in, like I was on the hockey team. I was a really good hockey player. A couple of my buddies are actually in the NHL now. I'm going to go see one of them play next week here in Anaheim.
Oh, nice.
But I ruined that potential career. It was the drinking and the drugs, it was like alcohol was like, even before I even knew what an alcoholic was, I would just use alcohol to escape, the pain I was going through. But I used that and I ended up going to rehab. And it's funny, every time I would drink, I would, I'd do drugs or whatever, I would just tell the story, the story of why I was like this, It was this pain, I don't know if you guys had that when you,
Yeah.
what I mean? I tell the old story about why I am this way. And I used that story for a long time of why I couldn't do things, it was but then, you start shooting like, this is why I can do things. It's my purpose, to share with other people. Cause we always think we're alone. Everyone thinks they're the only person going through the hardest time in the world. But, again, there's people out there with way harder stories. So yeah, I did that. And then I got into martial arts, like kickboxing and MMA. This was and I look back on this time of my life, I met this guy, I sold hockey skates at maybe a Dick's Sporting Goods in America. And this guy was like, yeah, I do MMA. And I looked at him, I was like, man, I'm going to kick this kid's ass. And I went there. Clearly it didn't go so well for me, but I was hooked.
Yeah.
But I was always looking for an out, and it was like a mask. I was always in really good shape. And I think it was a lack of love from my dad. When I look back now, I was never good enough. I never felt good enough because I was always searching for external validation. And it's why I say, the saying is, you will never. Now I'm older, I realize you'll never ever, find external validation from external things. And I tried that for so long. So it was always like I was always in shape. And I look back and even now, like, and I don't want to say the fitness industry. Now I look at it like when I was in it, so back when I was in every photo was my shirt off, you know, and I was just like chasing any sort of like validation I could get, because inside I was empty. You know, I actually didn't love the person in the mirror. So I tried that forever, but to a sense, it did save my life in a lot of ways. You know, it was an amazing outlet, but there was a gap. So I got into martial arts heavy. I got into jiu-jitsu heavy. I was chasing the dream of being an MMA fighter, because if you know, and I fought in MMA, but I look back now and I don't regret any of it, but I did a lot of it for the wrong reasons. I was doing it to be accepted.
Sure.
You know, like Dave was like the man, you know, I would win a fight and I was like, felt fulfilled. And it was the shortest, most temporary, you know, feeling of, you know, worth. And then 3 days later, like the new car, I'm empty. I got to go somehow, like, you know, chase something else. And it was this like chase. I moved to Thailand and I competed in Thailand in Muay Thai. I was big. I had a great time. And again, I had sprints of sobriety, but during this time I was working in the oil field. I had the girlfriend. Again, it was almost like I was trying to prove to everybody else that I had this high school fuck up, got his life together, and met this girl. She was great. You know, again, I look back at it now and I was like, God, this poor girl, you know, as we're younger, we all go through stuff. But anyways, I moved to Thailand and I was like, I'm going to start a gym because I love working out. And then you realize in business, like working out has nothing to do with running a business. But anyway, I moved to Thailand, burnt the boats per se, built my gym, started in a basement and crushed it. Like I was a good people person. The gym did amazing. Did it for 8 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Started it with like 2 members, had like 170 at the end. Sold the gym. They're still going. The 2 brands are still going, or just, sorry, the 1 brand. But I got to the same point. It was like this chase for validation, I think, you know, and it was, even though it was a great part of my life, it gave me a lot of work, like, you know, value in my life. There was just always something missing. And I think that was the sobriety part, that, the moment I stopped running from, you know, away from myself and started running towards the mirror, that's when my life really changed. Like, think about just this whole journey in the last 38 years. You know, it was always external validation.
Right.
And, you know, that's my life story in a nutshell. But I never felt good enough. You know, I think that was a big one. And I was so afraid of, you know, the hardest thing you're ever going to do in life is try to be somebody else. And fuck, did I do that for a long time. And it wasn't until I was like, I'm awesome. And what, you know, we throw shade on people that are like, our life should be the best life ever lived. It's the only fucking life we're ever going to live. And we get called narcissists but there's a difference between being cocky and confident. I'm just saying my life is the best life ever lived because it's my life. And I tell everybody that should be the purpose of life. That's why we're here. And I played small for so long, you know, and everything we want is on the other side of fear, which is like the biggest blessing ever. It's just being ourselves. And that's the one thing that social media I can grant like a huge pay respect to, let's just say. Something that social media has given me is being fearless. Like, fuck, you can say anything you want about me. I love myself. And that is the most valuable thing in the world. And when you start doing that and you realize that, like, you know, fear of judgment, man, judgment is just, you know, has nothing to do with you. It's got to do with everybody else. And that is what's changed my life. The biggest thing ever is now not the things I have other than my wife, is being able to look in the mirror and love myself is the biggest blessing in the world, you know? And you only know that when you know the other side of that spectrum of not loving yourself. And, you know, that's why I preach what I do. And it all resolves around, who do you hang out with? What are your boundaries? Because if you don't have any boundaries, you can't love yourself. And, you know, the process of, you know, growth is pain. Part of it is painful, you know, but it's a lot more painful living a life, you know, selling yourself short, you know, knowing you're meant for more and not doing anything about it. That is the worst prison you're ever going to fucking live in. And yeah, that's
what's that saying? The pain of regret and the pain of what? You guys don't know?
I know what you're trying to
I know the one. I can't.
say. So
The price of regret. If you want to hear the price of pain, try dealing with the price of regret.
Yeah. The price of regret is way heavier than the price of fucking doing it.
Oh my God.
Giving it a go and failing.
Do you ever really fail though? Like, where we
No.
were saying before we started recording about getting older. I'm like, do you ever really fail when you try?
No.
No, because you learn a lesson, a life lesson, no matter
Or
what.
you get redirected into the
Yes.
other opportunity that you're supposed to go through, instead of like, if it's not for you, it's not for you.
Have you
That's
like
okay.
have you ever regretted? Just thinking back in my own life, I'm like, I've never met anybody that's regretted trying to do something and just not quitting.
No. I failed
Well,
a fucking
that's-
shit ton, but never
Yeah.
regret, no regrets.
That's the thing though. Like if when you actually find your purpose, and I heard you talk about purpose is the most important thing, man. And like, I have the five, like I literally have 5 keys to success. It's like part of my talk whenever her and I do public speaking. And I mean, really, if you just take 2 of them. Right. If you just like know your why. Well, for me, I gotta make God the CEO, and not a higher power. I'm not like a religious guy. I don't go to church. I grew up in the Seventh-day Adventist, but and so my God is Jesus. But I think that some people's perception of Jesus is completely wrong and twisted, especially inside of the actual church. But with that being said, I make God the CEO. And then you need to know your why. You need to know what your purpose is. You need to know why you're doing it. And then like, just don't quit. Like, don't quit. Don't fucking quit. Because like, actually, if you quit, you do fail. That's the only time you fail. Just keep going. Like, I'm never going to stop this podcast until they rip this shit out of my hands, because the truth is that, I lost my son-in-law to fentanyl. That is the whole reason why this podcast exists. That's my why. My why is that I don't want another family to go through the pain that my daughter or his parents or my entire family has gone through. So he was like a son to me. This kid was on every fucking family trip. Every vacation, everything we did, he was right there, and I don't want, and I also want people to know that there's hope. But the thing is that, like I always said this in the very beginning of this podcast, I'll quit when 300 million people have heard my voice, our voice. The fentanyl crisis is gone. Nobody else in this world, everybody is hopeful. So basically, I'll be doing this until the day I die, or I can't speak anymore, because there's always going to be tragedy, and people are always going to need some type of hope in their life. And all you need is that mustard seed to get out of it. Just knowing that, like, I actually can.
You're the example that they can.
Well, what you said earlier is like, all of us, especially when you're stuck, or if you have addiction or alcoholism, like, you think that you truly are like the only one.
The only.
And it's like, it couldn't be further from the truth. Like, a lot of us obviously have different stories and different reasons of how we got into drinking or using, and how it progressed and all these things. And we all have different lows where we decided, we need to make a change.
Yeah.
But ultimately, we've all had that. Chad says it all the time. We've all suffered an immense amount of pain. And like, we all can come together with that, because we're not alone. Like, there's so many of us. It's just like, what makes this special to me is, growing up, you didn't really have people talking about something like this, because it was like kind of taboo.
Yeah.
And it was stigmatized, and like, in my family, it's very much, you don't put your shit out on the street.
Yeah.
And like, and then it looks like your parents are horrible if like your kid is an addict or an alcoholic. Just little things that are not very true. And like, it goes back to the whole judgment thing, right? Where it's like, we live in this fantasy land, especially now with like social media, is like, we're in such fear of people judging others. But in actuality, it's like, it's such a projection upon somebody else, because it's like, who am I to judge anybody, especially with my past? It's like, sit down.
Well, the crazy thing about that is, like, do you follow anybody, let's just use social media, that isn't just so unapologetically themselves?
Do I follow anybody that?
Like, do you like? I'll just use the word admire. I'll always speak for myself. Like, I don't like follow people that I'm not like anybody that I see like being vulnerable. I'm like, man, that person's a badass.
Oh yeah,
You know what I mean?
For sure. I try to follow, especially now. I try to follow. Social media is so weird with the algorithm that a lot of the times I follow quite a lot of people, but I don't see a lot of their things. But I try to follow people that inspire me or that I admire, whatever that may be. You know, even if it's just in a business aspect or whatever they're putting out on their page from a vulnerable standpoint, because I think that the world is so full of somebody is like the grass is greener or this person is living this life and I live in a shoebox and I'm miserable.
Not good enough.
And so I think that it's important because it boils down to what you consume and put in your brain and put in your ears, what you're listening to, what you're eating, all the things is very instrumental into your mental health as well.
It's true.
Yeah. All
And
of it.
the best part, the best part and the hardest part is we control it all.
I was just going to say, we have the control. But it's an addiction. Like, as much as people might think I'm being hyperbolic, but the phone is an addiction.
Fuck yeah. I don't love saying it. I am way more addicted to my phone these days than I would ever like to be.
Oh, I am too.
Like,
I am too, for sure.
Yeah, it's a problem in the because here's the thing.
Hey, we're
is
aware. At least.
I need
it's true.
Well, I don't necessarily need my phone to do my business, but all of my business is on my phone. Like,
yes, we do.
I'm not that guy. I don't need it because I could have done this business back in 1990 when we didn't have all this shit. I could have done it then too, but
okay, my businesses are on my phone.
But my business is on my phone, so like, I'm on my phone all the fucking time, whether it's emails, texts, the part that I don't like is when I get caught up in scrolling.
That's
and I'm
my
like,
problem
I'm
too.
like, 15, 20, 30 minutes has gone by and I'm not having my second cup of coffee and I'm like, bro, how did this fucking 30 minutes just go by watching nothing?
Well, I get people, they're like, I don't have enough time, or per se, it's like,
yes,
30
you
minutes,
do.
30 minutes in the morning and 30 minutes in the evening already sounds like an insane amount of time. I could do everything I need to do in a day in that 30 and 30.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. Answer the DMs that I need to, and I'd be.
Isn't it crazy?
But the brain will justify like, oh, I need to, and I think a big thing is it takes me out of like, I noticed it's the more I'm on the phone, the less grateful I am. It just removes my like.
It does.
Gratitude.
What's crazy for me is that like, it takes me to make. I could make probably 5 reels unedited in 15 minutes, right? And then and I have the luxury of taking them and bringing them over to Emily, and she'll make them look really, really pretty. And she'll have them all done in a couple of days, and I would have 5 things to post this week.
Then there's your week.
My week would be done.
I have like the same thing, 300 drafts. It's crazy.
It's crazy.
And it irritates me too, because like I meant to do it this morning, but I actually got caught up in actual work stuff, because like social media is definitely not my job, but it's very helpful in my industry, because like we actually are the first ones to ever do it for drug and alcohol treatment centers, and not necessarily by design, but by design. I knew the podcast would eventually create something. I didn't know what it would create, and now it's a machine, because like we have so many followers, and if I want to run an ad for a treatment center, it's going out to all those followers and people that are just like my followers, and our followers are our fucking potential clients anyways.
Yeah.
So it's really like a beautiful thing, and we just want to help. We don't care if you come to our treatment center or whatever treatment center. Let's just get you in somewhere, and because we don't want people to continue suffering out there we've been there. I've been there. I know what it feels like.
The hope.
I want to ask you a question on, because we believe in there's so many ways to get sober.
Mhm.
There's not I definitely don't think there's one way or one specific right way, because that's just not what we've seen. And you had mentioned that you kind of have done it your own way. What does that look like?
That is a great question. When you were asking that, I was like, what is the best way? Yeah, like you said, everybody's different.
Mm-hmm.
I just do what's worked for me, and I think the biggest thing is you need to, at the beginning, you need to remove yourself from situations at the start. Like, you can't be, you got to kill the old version of yourself to build a new one. So whatever you've been doing, it's the opposite of that. So, and a lot of times it's a removal process, friends, and you need to find new purposes. And a lot of times it's just in like a daily routine. In rehab, they teach you to make your bed.
Mm-hmm.
I still do that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I do it now. Didn't do it for those years.
Yeah.
Starting with the simple stuff and finding like-minded people. You can't hang out with people that are drinking and doing drugs. I don't have any friends that drink or do drugs. And to get sober, like, how do you get sober? How do you stay sober? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, like what do you do on a daily basis to maintain your sobriety? Because you had said you have 3 years.
Yeah,
now?
3 years.
So you had to have done something consistently for those 3 years, right?
Yeah.
So what does that look like for
I can
you?
tell you one thing he's done consistently for 3 years. He didn't pick up.
Well, it's a great question, because I have a buddy of mine. He's an actor. And he's like, "You're a fucking unicorn, bro." And
Well, this is the thing, is because I think for people that are listening is like they're gonna see.
so here's a good answer.
Yeah.
And it's not really about what I do on a daily basis. I have a routine, very structured, pretty structured routine, not
Yeah.
that regimented,
Sure.
but this is going to sound maybe crazy to some people, but I don't identify as the old version of myself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't identify as an alcoholic. I am an alcoholic. I can't drink. Well, I mean, I could if I wanted to. My life will not be the same. But I think for a lot of times I identified as this past version of myself, and my new life, I killed the old version of myself. I woke up one day and said, I don't give a fuck who I have to remove from my life. And it's not like this for everybody, but I had a couple really close friends that were sober, and almost in the same sober sense of me. They just didn't drink. And I pretty much reversed everything I was doing. I'm like, all right, I'm getting rid of these friends because it's a situation that every time I hang out with them, I drink.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to say at the beginning, I was kind of isolated a bit. But I just stuck to what worked. I worked out every day. It's an interesting question, because sometimes when I think about it, I'm like, man, I don't even know how I did it.
One foot in front of the other.
Yeah, I did the next best
day at
thing
a
every
time.
fucking day.
Yeah,
That's
you said something in,
That's it right
in the
there.
middle.
Because
That's
I don't
thing.
have the recipe for everybody. It's not going to work
No,
for
of
everybody.
course not. And that's
But like,
the
even
thing.
when I think about it, I'm like, Jesus, this is crazy, but I'm fucking, it works. It works. It works
Exactly.
so well
It
for
works
me. It's
for
like,
you. But ultimately, it really comes down to the decision that you made for yourself, because you went to rehab as a kid. You were introduced to the rooms and all these other things of what to do to get sober. But it really ultimately comes down to each individual making that conscious decision of, what are we going to do about it?
Well, it's like when you don't know what to pursue being the best version of yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
And-
it.
and
That was
can
it for me.
And can you pursue the best version of yourself with alcohol?
Fuck no.
Not at all.
Is that even I even think that people that I call normies, and they can, and they might even be successful and wealthy and have, and go out but is that, because I don't know everything about them. I'm only seeing the outside shit.
Yeah.
I don't know how they actually
A lot of
feel
them.
about themselves. I don't know how their
How do
relationship
they treat their
is
wife
Yes.
with
or
their
their kids?
with their wife, their children, exactly, all of that stuff. I don't know that stuff. So they need to ask themselves, is this the best version of myself? I mean, and I feel like that with anybody. Like alcohol is actually fucking poison. And I'm not
It
telling people
is.
they shouldn't drink.
I do my best not to it's the worst.
I mean, I don't judge anybody. I think anybody can do whatever they want, but let's be honest.
That's
you
what
can die from
I
withdrawals.
just say, hey man, whatever you're doing, are you genuinely finding joy? Because if you are, fuck man, have at her.
Yeah.
But if you're not,
rethink.
are you really, this doesn't look fun, man? So it's like, but if you are, it's like anything in life. It's like, hey man,
So true.
the girlfriend thing. If you're out, like, I don't hang out with people that cheat on their girlfriends. We hang out with friends. Sorry, bro. Like, I don't get down like that. I did cheat on my ex. Well, like, you know, and that's because I was like the lowest version of myself. And it was the only time I ever did. And am I proud of it? No. Did I hurt her? Yes. But I don't associate with people that do that, because if you hang around in a barbershop long enough, you know,
You're going to get a
haircut.
Yeah.
Did you know that one, Emily? No?
It's true, though.
True.
Yeah, it's true.
So true. It's like
I go every day.
And those people are not happy people, because
they're not.
like you said, I know some very success, and I'm like, I can't be around this, bro. Like, this is not the energy that I want in my life.
I mean, I sometimes, like, you know, look at like Elon Musk. Like,
I mean, he is a unicorn.
he's an interesting character.
He has like 400 kids.
Yeah, 400.
Does he?
kids.
I don't know his back.
Yeah, he
He has
does.
a lot, and
He
a
has
lot of
a
different
lot
baby
of-
mamas.
Yeah. But he's a brilliant,
Yeah.
a brilliant man.
Yeah.
But then again, you know, we all debate whether or not he's on the spectrum.
How about this one though? He's even specifically had spoken like, "You do not want to be in my brain.
Yeah.
You don't want to be there.
You don't." Is he going to be truly like joyful, happy, and free? Probably not. He's probably stressed out about going somewhere to the moon.
Well, it goes back to that peace of mind is the ultimate. That's the best currency in the world. Having that, like, going to bed at night and knowing, like, you know.
It's a good question for our boy. Help me out here. He does the questions on his stories all the time.
Oh, Joe.
Yeah,
Joe
B. This is a good question for Joe B on his stories. Like, would you rather have as much money as you could spend for the rest of your life, every single day? He's probably done this one. Or be completely broke, but at full peace with everything in your life?
That is a hard question that I think the
Yeah.
vast majority of the people are going to be like, fuck that. I want to be rich as fuck for the rest of my life because I could like go purchase whatever I want to obtain happiness and peace.
No, but you're still going to be miserable.
Wait a second. So here's the question: Would you be sober? Add that into the mix.
I would no, and you can't be sober. I love that.
Yeah.
You can't be. No, how about you have to be sober and miserable? You can't
Oh
drink.
my God, I hate this question.
Isn't that crazy though? The thought of sobriety, like, that's how much it's like.
Like, because I'll be miserable and loaded.
Yeah.
And a
for sure.
fucking
And just wild
as
out.
yep, empty, lonely,
Totally.
fucking living the devil's world.
Yeah.
Just but ruling it.
Dancing with the devil.
Oh yeah, I'll go there.
The good news is you won't live that long.
Right.
So it's like, you
very
know,
true too.
That's true.
it'd be
Damn.
short lived.
It would
At
be.
least I'm like, at least.
That's a hard question. I don't like it. Don't put it out there.
I'm gonna put it out
Text
next
it to Joe.
next Tuesday. See if Joe
Yeah.
puts it out.
I was thinking back to what you asked me about how it's getting sober. I'm really
Or
thinking,
maintaining?
yeah, how to, like, I was really thinking about it. I was like, because I was thinking, like, well, I was so all in. That's why I came up with the name when I first got sober.
I love that.
But I
love
think
all in.
I think it was for the first, like, I always tell people I work with and, you know, have coaching. First 90 days are just to realize that you would feel so good following, like, you know, a routine that you would never actually want to go back to your old life.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what happened to me.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, because this time when I got sober, I wasn't like, I'm just going to stop drinking. And I was like, for a month.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, knowing me in my past, it was kind of hilarious saying that.
Mm-hmm.
I just kept going. And after like 3 months, I was like, fuck, I could never imagine living my old life.
Yeah.
I love the sober life, man. The sober
I was
life is
trying to
the best
process your question a little better because
You also said something
Yeah,
though in the
but it's-
beginning about in the middle of this podcast about working on all those things. You know, you get rid of those things, and when you get rid of those things, we can call them traumas right now, or whatever they are. We call it a 4th and 5th step in the 12-step program. When you do that and you get rid of all those things, and then you go on to clean up the rest of the side of your street, you stop feeling bad about yourself. And when you stop feeling bad about yourself, you no longer want to put something in your body to alter the way you feel.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel so good 95% of the time that why would I want to put anything in my body to make me feel anything different than how I'm feeling right now?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I get to feel them all.
Yeah.
All of them.
It's the best part.
I get to feel for real, not for fake.
An experience. You
And
get to experience.
and I get
the-
to remember.
the trips and the.
And I get to go to
And the-
bed and
Yeah.
wake up and all that. Man, it's been a great podcast. I've got a dentist appointment in literally 19 minutes, and that sucks.
It's been amazing.
It fucking sucks.
I know. I saw.
I
it on
hate the
calendar.
dentist.
You
I
saw
know,
it.
I have to
hate
go
it
next
too.
week.
And I have to get like a,
Filling. I get.
I got to get
Oh,
the
I had
cleaning
to
done
get a
on this
root
side.
canal.
I might have to get one of those.
Oh my
I don't
God.
even want to ask you about it because I'll
It-
be chat GPTing what it's like after.
No, it was actually not horrible,
Really?
but it's so expensive.
I don't know why they scare me so much.
But they do. It does suck, and
Well,
it's
root
for a long
canals
time.
are actually dangerous.
Yeah, it's just don't listen to him. It sucks.
Let's,
and
so
you're
how
literally
about,
like getting your tooth sawed for like a million hours.
I got to go get this whole side deep cleaned.
Oh.
And I'm going to be numb here.
Oh,
and
that's
here.
the worst too. I bit my lip because I was like.
that
I
sounds like
couldn't
an
feel it.
intense deep cleanup. I don't want any part of that.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. I'm going to tell everybody go to the dentist
Once
every
a-
6
every
months.
6 months so that you're
and
not Chad.
Yeah. Because I didn't go for 5 years. I had no cavities, but I had way too much plaque
Really?
in between. And so now they got to go in. They got to numb me. They
Yeah,
gotta-
it's horrible.
not fun at all. Is that Greer?
Uh huh.
Oh, okay.
He's here on Thursdays and Fridays.
Dude, pleasure.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
for coming.